Good, happy Thursday morning, April 9, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get this Thursday off to a good start. Sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy some Good Morning, New Hampshire. We're going to begin with your local news first. First up, 10 COVID-19 deaths linked to outbreaks at New Hampshire long-term care facilities, officials say. 5 more deaths attributed to coronavirus announced. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
More than half of the state's 18 COVID-19 related deaths are connected to outbreaks at 3 long-term care facilities.
Every single day it's managing active screening of staff, active screening of residents.
At Hanover Hill Healthcare in Manchester, 37 residents and 13 workers have now tested positive for COVID-19. 4 people have died from the virus. Public health officials say the outbreak there is confined to a single floor. And in Nashua, at assisted living facility The Huntington, 19 residents have COVID-19, 11 staff members. There are 5 confirmed COVID-related deaths. And at Crotched Mountain Residential Care in Greenfield, 3 residents and 11 staff members have tested positive. 1 person died late last month.
In addition to these 3 outbreaks, we have dozens of facilities, I will say more than 10 facilities that have isolated incidences of COVID positive tests either in their residents or in their staff.
State health leaders are now working closely with those long-term care facilities and say containing outbreaks is nothing new to them.
We are providing them with the latest and most up-to-date information and making sure they have everything they need to meet the needs of their clients and their team.
Public health officials are asking any long-term care facilities to be open and transparent with clients and their families and notify them right away if any positive COVID-19 cases are identified. Now, another announcement made at today's press conference. State leaders say in the coming days they'll begin releasing more details about the demographics of the people who have contracted the virus so far. Live in Concord, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. And here is a look at that COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know information. There are 788 number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 4,701 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 18 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 118 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 4,668 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows cases of COVID-19 in the towns and cities in New Hampshire. New Ipswich, 5 to 9 cases. And this graph here shows new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. And again, your common symptoms: fever, cough, and difficult breathing, how it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, U.S. intelligence agency warned of virus in November. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
We're going to turn now to the ABC News reporting tonight that American intelligence officials warned the Trump administration as far back as late November that coronavirus could be a, quote, cataclysmic event. That information ultimately ended up in the president's daily briefing. So what did they know and when? And what was being said publicly? Here's our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
ABC News has learned U.S. intelligence agencies were warning way back in November that an out-of-control disease was sweeping through China. The dire warning was detailed in a report by the military's National Center for Medical Intelligence. As recently as 2 days ago, President Trump said nobody saw the warning.
This came out of nowhere. Nobody would have ever thought a thing like this could have happened.
The November intelligence report determined the virus was changing patterns of life in China and posing a threat to U.S. forces in Asia. Analysts concluded it could be a cataclysmic event. A source familiar with the report tells ABC News, adding the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Pentagon's Joint Staff, and the White House were briefed multiple times.
Did the Pentagon receive an intelligence assessment on COVID in China last November from the National Center for Medical Intelligence of DIA?
Oh, I can't recall, George, but we have many people that watch this closely.
By early January, sources tell ABC News, the information was included in the president's daily intelligence brief. But later that month, the president said the threat was under control.
We have it under control. It's going to be just fine.
Tonight, the president responded to the ABC News report.
When did you first learn about the intelligence, and could you have acted on it then?
Well, I learned when I learned about the gravity of it was sometime just prior to closing the country to China. And when we closed up the flights coming in from China and various other elements, and then, as you know, we closed up to Europe. So I don't know exactly, but I'd like to see the information.
ABC News reached out to the Pentagon repeatedly during our reporting on this story. We just got a response. They say the story is incorrect and that, quote, a National Center for Medical Intelligence coronavirus-related product/assessment in November does not exist. David?
John, we appreciate it.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Coronavirus live updates. Crew members on USNS Mercy Hospital ship test positive for COVID-19. A global pandemic of the novel coronavirus has claimed the lives of at least 14,808 people in the United States. The United States is among the worst affected countries, with more than 432,000 people diagnosed with COVID-19. The diagnosis caused by the new respiratory virus, according to data compiled by the Center for System Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. Worldwide, more than 1.48 million people have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and over 88,500 of them have died since the virus emerged in China back in December. The actual numbers are believed to be much higher due to testing shortages, many unreported cases, and suspicious that some governments are hiding the scope of their nation's outbreaks. Italy has by far the world's highest death toll, over 17,600. Today's biggest headlines. USNS Mercy crew member tests positive for COVID-19. U.S. death toll nears 15,000. New York may be reaching its peak in the outbreak, Dr. Fauci says. And pandemic drives sub-Saharan African toward first recession in 25 years. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into business news. In business news, stock features fall as investors brace for weekly jobless claims data. Stock features fell on Thursday as Wall Street awaited the latest data on weekly U.S. job claims. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather and traffic. First, we're going to start with the weather. The weather right now is mostly cloudy, 36 degrees. And your weather for today, cloudy with periods of rain, high near 45 degrees. Winds southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour, chance of rain 100%, rainfall around half an inch. And now let's go into traffic. And here's a look at your morning traffic this morning. As you can see, not too bad of a ride in New Hampshire this morning. In Henniker, you're having smooth sailing. Hopkinton, smooth sailing. Bow, Pembroke, Concord, all smooth sailing. Chichester, smooth sailing. Epsom, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Northwood, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Lee, smooth sailing with some medium and slow pace traffic. Durham, smooth sailing with some medium and slow pace traffic. Rochester, smooth sailing. Somersworth, smooth sailing. Dover, smooth sailing. And Portsmouth, smooth sailing. Maine, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Rye, smooth sailing. Northampton, smooth sailing. Hampton, smooth sailing. Seabrook, smooth sailing into the border, Massachusetts. All smooth sailing on 101. Manchester and Hooksett, smooth sailing. And we have a incident restriction due to accident on Beach Street at Gold Street. Around the Manchester Airport, all smooth sailing. Bedford, smooth sailing with a little spot of slow traffic. Amherst, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. And Milford, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Merrimack, smooth sailing. Nashua, smooth sailing into the border, Massachusetts. Nashua, Milford, smooth sailing with some medium pace traffic. Manchester, Londonderry, Windham, Salem into the border, Massachusetts, all smooth sailing. And that is a look at your traffic this morning. Not too bad of a ride out there for everyone this morning. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire Life segment. In your New Hampshire Life segment today, we're talking about a Bedford couple holds wedding on Zoom. 100 virtual guests. Couple moved up wedding date and coronavirus. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
If your shirt isn't tucked into your pants, are your pants tucked into your shirt?
When you're getting big-time results from your Constant Contact emails, it's...
Let us just be the first to say from WMUR, best wishes and congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're excited.
Beth and Rob Daisy did not expect to be newlyweds right now. The occupational therapists met at UNH and planned a September wedding, but moved it up to a cyber ceremony on Saturday.
We got a little nervous because of the coronavirus. And, right now we're so fortunate that all of our friends and family are healthy and everybody's well. And we wanted to take advantage of that fact and, not put things off any longer.
The bride is a retired Marine Corps helicopter pilot on a mission. She enlisted help from the Bedford town clerk. They wore Red Sox masks to pick up the marriage license and invited their virtual guests to join them on Zoom for the nuptials.
How was the response?
It was an incredible response. I think there were 65 other computers signed on with at least 1 or 2 or 3 people on each stream. So what was really amazing was how many people dressed up for this occasion. All of a sudden we were looking on our screen and would see somebody in a tuxedo, at least the top half of them in a tuxedo. We don't know what they're wearing for their pants.
Their dog Alamo was a witness. Beth wore a surgical mask down the aisle.
It's silk and satin and lace, and this is what I wore instead of a veil.
After an online toast, the newlyweds made barbecue pizza in the backyard.
Not only was it a special day for us, but everybody who joined us, I think it lightened their day a little bit.
It sure did.
Bye-bye.
Gene Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. awesome story there. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into exercise/workout segment. No gym weights. Use everyday home items for this back and shoulder workout. Let's take a look at that video from Good Morning America Digital.
It is more important than ever to look after our health, and exercise helps us look after our mental, emotional, and physical health. This is a 5 exercise back and shoulder workout. Today my weights are going to be water bottles. You can feel free to use soup cans or really anything that you have on hand. Okay, exercise 1 is the side to front raise. We're going to lift out to the side, close to the front, back out to the side, and back down. While we're doing this, we're keeping a slight bend in our elbows. We don't want to lock out our elbows. Our second exercise today is a car drag. You draw your shoulder blades down and back. We don't want to shrug our shoulders at all through this movement. You're going to extend your arms about right out in front of your chest. Then you're going to rotate to the left, to the right, for the specified number of reps. Making sure never to shrug your shoulders. Third exercise is the Arnold press. Holding your weights here, you're going to rotate your grip as you press up into your shoulder press. Rotate again on your way back down. Next, we have the bent over reverse fly. Lower the hinge of the hips and bend over until your torso is almost parallel with the floor. Holding your weights directly beneath your chest and keeping a slight bend in your elbows, we're going to raise our arms open, and you should feel a pinch between your shoulder blades. Last exercise today is the alternating shoulder press. We're going to begin with our weights extended, so our arms are both fully extended above our head. We're not locking our elbows, however, and then we're going to alternate pressing. Make sure that you keep your shoulder blades drawn down and back so that we're not shrugging our shoulders. Well, that is it for me today, you guys. Thank you for following along. I hope something I've shared has been helpful. And I also post a lot of free workout content online on my Instagram at Kelsey Wells.
Okay, and there you go. Good workout tips there. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. Lady Gaga explains awkward Tonight Show interview. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Lady Gaga, welcome back to the Tonight Show at Home edition. I love you. Thank you so much for honoring your word and talking to me today.
I'm so sorry. After one insanely awkward interview with Jimmy Fallon last week, Lady Gaga returned to The Tonight Show on Monday with an apology and some big news.
We weren't quite ready yet, and I really appreciate you being so nice about it, and thank you. And I love you. I love your viewers and everyone at home watching. I just wish everybody well.
We love you all too, and it turned out to be really a kind of a fun bit for us, and got a lot of people talking and getting a lot of people excited about what we're about to discuss tonight.
Oh, it got people talking, all right. Let's rewind. Last week, Gaga appeared on The Tonight Show Home Edition, but it was a hot mess.
We have a big, maybe announcement that you're going to say tonight on our show.
I can't, Jimmy. I can't talk right now. It's I'm really sorry. It's just like a really weird time. Hello?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
You're on.
I can't see it. Am I on TV?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry, you're on TV. I apologize.
Yeah, like I said, a hot freaking mess.
Wait,
hold on.
what's?
Wait, hold on.
But what's the big news?
Hey guys, can you push that call back 1 minute, please?
I mean, I don't know what's better, the look on Jimmy's face or the moment she's wearing her glasses upside down. What a wild ride.
Yeah, can we do it Monday? I promise we'll do it Monday.
You want to do it so Monday? Today's Wednesday, so Monday? Oh my heavens, you are the busiest person.
Well, Gaga, who is self-quarantined in her home with several other people, made good on her word and called back Monday, revealing the news she previously wasn't ready to talk about.
I've been speaking at length with the World Health Organization, and Dr. Tedros called me and asked me if I would help curate this special on television with Global Citizen.
Yep, Gaga announced a new star-studded TV special called One World Together at Home, which will be hosted by Jimmy himself, as well as his fellow late-night hosts Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel.
I mean, come on. All three of you agreed to join forces for a good cause. I'm so happy. And then NBC, CBS, and ABC, everybody's working together. We'll have artists. We will have lots of different people. We'll have athletes. We're also going to have Sesame Street. We're going to have amazing hosts and actors. And the truth is that we're also going to do a lot of other things that are going to be different and exciting. And this is what I really want to do with the show.
The massive TV event airs April 18th and features performances and appearances from a ton of artists, including Alanis Morissette, Billie Eilish, Billie Joe Armstrong, Chris Martin, David Beckham, Eddie Vedder, Elton John, J Balvin, John Legend, Casey Musgraves, Keith Urban, Kerry Washington, Lizzo, Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney, Priyanka Chopra, and more. Ooh, that was a mouthful.
It turned out to be really a kind of a fun bit for us.
But this TV special isn't the only way the pop star is giving back. Gaga has been working hard to raise funds for COVID-19 relief organizations, and on Monday, she also appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live and explained how she's managed to raise millions of dollars in just the last week.
We did a call with at least 68 corporate executives, and then I've been doing other calls with philanthropists as well as major wonderful tech companies, and they've all really stepped up and they all want to help, and it's been actually wonderful to watch, and I just want to help in whatever way I can.
And if all of that wasn't inspiring enough, Gaga also talked about the importance of showing each other kindness as we go through this difficult time together.
And I think there's a lot of people that are at home right now that are wondering how they can help, and they feel like they can't and they don't know how to. And one of the ways that you can is to be kind. This is a catastrophe, and in a time of catastrophe, kindness is the most important thing. We must be compassionate to each other, and I think also self-awareness while you're being kind and making sure that you know what you have and what you don't, and that you take those moments to have gratitude.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very cool indeed. It looks like it's going to be a good show. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And that's it for this edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching this edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great day.